This one's a bit different. I'm in the middle of moving flats. So instead of my usual setup, this was recorded whilst I was out driving. I was thinking through an idea on a comment on one of my recent videos, so it's a bit more off the cuff than usual. I didn't have my usual mic, so I've added captions to help cut through the car noise that you can hear in the background. Normal service will resume shortly, don't worry. But I think there's something genuinely useful in here, especially if you're trying to get Old World going in your area. And I'm not the authority on community building by any chance, so if you've got ideas, drop them in the comments. It'd be great to build something useful together. Also, apparently I'm now contractually obligated to tell you to like, subscribe, and engage with whatever the new YouTube hype button is, so do that. Or don't, but preferably do. Right, let's get into it.
Someone left a video comment. A comment on one of the videos, asking about Warhammer the Old World, and that they, in their local kind of neighborhood and in their gaming group, there are loads of people that play Warhammer 40,000, but no one else that's really playing Warhammer the Old World. And you know, what should they do in that situation? Because they really, really want to play Warhammer the Old Worlds. They love all of the models. They love all of the ranges. You know, and it's not the first time I've kind of heard it. And I've been doing some work recently for my day job about like making work champions and stuff like that. And it's kind of put this idea into my head about becoming an Old World champion is kind of what I'm going to call it. And I think it's not an uncommon sort of kind of thing that people will find, in that they will see a game system that they want to play, and you've got to try and get other people into the game. So, you know, if you want to play it. Now, there's kind of a couple of points that I would kind of make on it. The first is that, you know, if there's no one else kind of playing the game system that you want to play, there are probably people in your gaming club or in your local store or anything like, you know, else like that, that probably want to play it too, but they might be in the same situation as yourself, where, you know, you're kind of thinking about playing this game system, there's no one else, right? And some people might just be really shy about it, or you know, you might not have spoken to them. They might be coming in on like different days to what you kind of schedule into going into your games club and all of that sort of stuff. I need to merge to go on the M3. You need to be, as I say, like a champion. And what does that entail? That, like, if you're going to be a local kind of champion for your game system, you need to be the person that is kind of setting stuff up and is kind of getting stuff involved. You can do this, like, there are kind of two kind of things that are going to have to kind of go with that, and there are two like kind of costs that you have to make. One of them will be financial, because you're going to need to like invest in a game system, you know, by potentially getting a starter box, you know, where you have like 2 armies, because this broadly applies to any game system, I would say. So, you know, you can apply it to Age of Sigmar, you could apply it to, you know, Lord of the Rings, strategy battle game, you can apply it to like non-Games Workshop IPs, you know, Baron's War is something that kind of interests me, you know, super old school medieval knights and stuff like that. That looks like kind of a fun game system. Or, you know, if you're playing like D&D and stuff like that, if you want to get people to play these games, you know, you have to like reduce as much friction for them as possible. So, you know, in the case of D&D, that's going to be like buying a DM guide, well, probably just a player's handbook, really, or like, you know, finding it, reading it. So there's that time investment where you have to learn the rules, you know, and then and also the financial cost of picking stuff up and getting all of those bits sorted. So that's kind of a problem only you can solve. So you need to kind of get on the front foot with it. And if you're gonna get started with Old Worlds, you need to probably pick up, like, for Old World specifically, you're probably going to want to pick up like 2 armies. So if you like a couple of different armies, it's a great excuse to like buy and paint 2 different armies. Thankfully, like, Old World is actually like probably the cheapest. I say probably, it is the cheapest of the Warhammer war games to get into. If you want to start playing, so you can grab a couple of battalions and learn to start playing, you know, and get those kind of painted up and built up, and have those on hand, ready to go with 2 different sets. You know, make sure before you start introducing people to games and stuff like that, make sure that you are using painted models. You know, because painted stuff always gets people hype when they see that people have done stuff. And you'll need to learn, you know, the basics of the rule system. Like, you can't go into a game and try and be a champ, like, try and get other people going into it and not kind of understand the basics of the game system yourself, because that's going to cause some issues. You know, so there's kind of 2 costs there. It's even better if you are like a big fan of some of the, I would probably say, simpler to play armies. You know, like your warriors are chaos, maybe your orcs and goblins, your Bretonia are really easy. Your Tomb Kings, they're all like very, very kind of simple to kind of put together. Like, they all have like quite high skill ceilings as well. I would probably avoid, like, unless you're really into them, in which case, you know, fine. I would probably avoid wood elves if you're trying to introduce people to the game. At the moment anyway, with their current rule set, because they just have, like, you either lose really badly or you just hammer people with them. Speaking from experience, so they're kind of like a bit of a feels bad army to start with. I think I've not played enough against Beastmen, but, you know, having read the rules, you know, seeing kind of the stuff, I think they're probably in a broadly sort of similar kind of category as well. And yeah, learn the rules. Then, like, so once you've kind of like paid those 2 costs, you paid, you know, your time in learning, in building and in painting the sets, then the next thing that you are going to need to do is you're going to need to start making some friends, specifically with friendly local gaming stores, if you have one in your area, or at the local club. You know, with, you know, and ask if you can start putting out some things for some taster games, and just put the proviso. Look, hey, you're learning it. You know, you're really happy to teach people and lend stuff, and you know, just learn to play. And it's going to be a no, you know, do not try and like win games you are championing, right? Let the other person win, like, every single time. Just let them win. Like, whilst you're getting stuff off, people are going to have an insanely good time if you're playing a thing and they're just beating you all the time. People love it. And once you've like allowed people and you've got people playing, like that's normally going to give people kind of the incentive to potentially go and start up their own army. Once you've done that 2 or 3 times, it won't be too long until you can maybe be doing Old World Wednesdays at your local gaming store. And it's going to take time. Like, it's not going to happen immediately. Like, this is not your phone. You can't scroll down and new people will just appear at your gaming club. Like, that is not how building a community works. It takes time. You have to like keep being the person. Just like other tips for it. Take a tip out of improv comedy. Be, in a lot of these situations, just be yes and. Like if people want to do something, just let them. If you're starting out and you're kind of getting stuff together, fantastic. Just let people kind of have fun with the system. There's a point where I wouldn't worry too much about things like being super strict on FAQs, or someone fudges a roll, or something like that. Just let people have fun with it. Let people that are playing against you win, because if they win, they're going to positively associate the game with it. It's even better if you can like nudge them into doing things. So you're going to want to, as the champion, you need to kind of be on top of the art of the possible. What is actually possible to do with orcs and goblins? How can you teach people how to do some of the more kind of complex stuff a little bit early on? Can you teach people that if you've got a dwarven hammerers unit or something like that that's in drilled, or another drilled unit, I don't know if hammerers can be drilled off the top of my head. They sound like they should be able to be drilled. My memory is terrible. But can you take them from being drilled? Can you show them like, oh, you can be in a marching column, allow them to move really quickly, they can move a whole 9 inches, and then have them charge out of marching column, and you just feel like, cool, I've just done something really, really sweet, and that's really good fun. And people love stuff like that, where they get to do some sort of really kind of like what seemingly complex shit, excuse my language, early on. I am coming off now, I believe, for the vets with my hot pea. My brain is now a little bit kind of tired, because I've been driving and I've been concentrating and I've been talking, about Warhammer the Old World whilst I'm driving. So I'm going to pause it there before I cause an accident. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And we'll see you soon. Ta-ta.
A huge thank you to all my patrons for supporting the channel. You can join them from just £3 a month. And if you want to get started with the old world, why don't you check out Red October Games in the description below, where you can pick yourself up a army or battalion of your choice. Go and check out friend of the channel, UK Resin Print's new website, link in the description below. Go and say hi to Tom, you'll get 10% off a purchase. And if you want to take a look at some of those Warhammer armies, why don't you check out one of my army guides that should be popping up on screen right about now.